Pathmonk is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in the buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding Pathmonk to your website in seconds, by letting the AI do all the work, and increase conversions while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmonk.com. Hey everybody, welcome back to Pathmonk Presents. Today I'm excited to speak to the VP of Growth and Partnerships at Productive Edge, Mike Moore. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
Thanks for being here, Mike. Listen, we didn't get much time offline, or off air, if you will, to talk about Productive Edge, and that's why I would love to start with the basics right here. So, what's the big idea behind Productive Edge? And if you were to explain it to a friend over coffee, how would you describe what you do?
Yeah, Productive Edge is focused on helping healthcare organizations modernize how they work. So we do that through strategy services as well as a lot of technical work, specifically around data and AI. You can't spell most things without AI these days, and
Ooh.
so that's a lot of what healthcare is focused on, because healthcare is an industry is typically a few years behind the rest of industry. And so AI represents this opportunity to take a hyperleap forward, kind of skip a generation of learning and go right into acceleration mode around solving some of the biggest problems. And that's where we help our customers.
That's very cool, and I would agree. You can't spell anything without AI these days. Um, so within these organizations within healthcare, is there a specific type of business that where your product you think really shines? There's a lot of legacy, I'm sure, in there. So how does Productive Edge help in that case?
Yeah, when you looked at what the industry is comprised of here in the U.S. healthcare system, it's a private as well as public-based system, right? So there's a lot of complexity. There are many players from the provider systems, the hospitals who are delivering care to patients, and then there are the health plans that are paying for it. And members obviously are paying in premiums, the government's paying in premiums. There's a lot of money moving around throughout all of this. And what ends up happening is there's a lot of administrative waste. So not every dollar is truly spent on healthcare delivery. There is money spent on the administration of the health plans and the operations around it. And if you needed, God forbid, some sort of surgery, uh, there's an approval process, and then the surgery itself, and then the claims that come after. So every time paper or faxes are still being sent in many cases, as well as digital information is flowing around organizations across this whole life cycle, there's waste. So a lot of our customers are very concerned about that and trying to figure out how to eliminate as much of that waste as possible and streamline their operations, which ultimately lets more of those dollars spent in the healthcare system be spent on delivering care and driving better outcomes for patients and their families.
Who in these companies is actually looking for you guys? Because I was wondering, right? If you get into the marketing lingo, like who's your ICP? As in, I would get online and try to look for someone to help my healthcare company or my organization. Who in there will be the person that's actually looking for you guys?
Yeah, many times in the organization, it's the chief information officer, chief technology
Mm.
officer. They're the ones who are tasked on behalf of the organization to figure out the technology solutions to many of the business problems. We do oftentimes partner with business and operational leaders as well. So the office of the CFO, they may be looking at, from a financial point of view, how do we drive better outcomes? How do we reduce our administrative expenses? How do we improve our profits? Because some of these companies are for profit, some of them are nonprofits as well. But everyone is looking at those efficiencies. So the business may be suffering with what they know is an inefficient process. They end up connecting with us. They bring in their IT colleagues to the conversation, and then we kind of take it from there. But like many who are selling in B2B, uh, technology services around healthcare industry is not a one person versus one person kind of sport, right? There's a buying committee made up of a dozen people from various roles across the organization that get involved in the projects both in terms of vetting agencies and partners like us, as well as the actual execution and development of the solutions. And obviously, the implementation of these solutions falls to yet another expanded set of, if it was going to be every case manager inside of a health plan, for example, it ends up touching a lot of people. So there are a lot of stakeholders and a lot of people involved in the buying decisions.
Yeah, which makes me think that you're gonna have to cater for so many different needs and pains and goals within these communities and the stakeholders because they all look for different things, right? At the end of the day, they might be working towards the common goal, but they want to see a different metric, a different output for what you guys offer. So, um, were there any channels that you think are actually working great for you guys in terms of marketing and being able to reach these people? Anything that's working particularly well for you at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, the customers that we find, the majority of the business I've been here for 3 years now, when we reflect on the new customers that we brought on over the course of the year, which we do basically all the time, so much of that is word of mouth. So it's referral based because this is a trust based world that we live in, right? And even in the digital world. So we have a number of customers. We've been around for 18 years, so not new. Obviously working with very new and kind of leading edge technology. But a lot of it is based on the trust that we've built with customers over many years and different stops in their career. So they may have worked at one company, then they go to another company. They're going to bring the people that they trust, or they're going to ask the people that they trust for a referral, and that's how we get a lot of our business. So that's a key piece of it. The way I think about marketing channels and the website and those kind of elements is those ultimately serve as validation and nurture for those relationships. So they may be connected to us, not have a need for our services right now, but then they see a blog post, a podcast, they get an ebook in their LinkedIn feed, and it reminds them, oh yeah, Productive Edge is out there. They're doing great things. I haven't checked in with them in a while. Let me give them a call and just touch base. Or the next time someone's asking for that referral of someone, who could we talk to about this? They're popping up in my mind. So I think about kind of an always on approach to marketing and having that content nurture because I want people to remember the good work that we've done with them. And obviously, there are some new people that we meet as well. We're then going to check references. And obviously, again, we want to have those people remember us and the good work that we've done with them.
That's very good. I love the word of mouth and the referrals. I think I heard it once said that it's whether you do good or bad, you're still having that word of mouth from people. So
Oh, yeah.
better if you do a good job, then it's gonna be good. If not, it's not gonna be good. But um, it's the original, the OG way of businesses to work together, and that word of mouth is so essential. Now, you touched on the website for a second, and also, I'm curious to know from your experience that you can draw from this experience at Productive Edge, or even your past experience when it comes to growth. What do you think actually makes a website convert? Is it a tools? Is it tactics? Little frameworks that maybe you've seen across the years?
Yeah, I think uh, I go back to kind of, HubSpot has their inbound methodology. We use HubSpot as our website platform. I've used it in the past as well. And I think about, trying to keep things simple, right? So that buyer's journey of learning, shopping, and buying, right? So those three behaviors that people go through. We're always in learning mode. We're always looking for new ideas. So painting those pictures about how, for whatever problems exist in the world, how people are solving them, and just kind of teaching and always having a learning mentality. Um, those who teach earn the right to sell, right? So that's kind of if we're doing the learning piece and we're teaching people with no expectation of receiving anything in return, we hope to earn the right to sell. And there's always a timing element of this, right? So everyone's always in learning mode. When are you in shopping mode? It's so now you have that active recognition that there is a problem that you need to solve as an organization, and you're looking for options that are available in the market. So on our website, I want to have shopping content as well as the learning content. So why us? Why should they consider us among all the choices that are available in the market? Why should they consider us? And it's telling the story about how we're helping others. And then ultimately, obviously, the buying stage content to validate and say, among all these choices, why are we the best choice for what they're trying to do, and having the validation there. I mean, ultimately, we're a services business. There is the product is the people who work here. right? It's the how we help people. And services from a technology standpoint is really, this is one of the things that I started my career in, is selling services. It's easy to put something on the table and say, this is whatever, a widget. Do you want the widget? Here's what the widget does, and here's how it helps you. But services, what I'm making to you is a promise about what your life is going to be like in the future,
Mm.
right? Life is going to be better for you. A lot of people, obviously, in a very complex economy here in the United States, they're looking for their big career moment, their big next step. Uh, Doing AI projects right now, MIT produced a study not long ago that said 95% of pilots fail in AI. Everybody wants to be the 5%, right? There's some dispute about kind of their study and kind of the results, but people want to be successful. They want to partner with people they can trust who will help them be successful. And so everything we do from a content standpoint, again, we're trying to be helpful, and kind of take that type of tone with people, not be preachy, not be salesy about what we're trying to do, be helpful, be positive, point out opportunities and how to get there. And of course, you hope that, the inference is that, okay, these are folks that can help us do that, and that's going to create conversations.
That's really good. I love, it sounds that, there's a real well thought out structure behind it. It's not just, hey, a freebie, lead generation kind of, a lead magnet, like an ebook or something like that, just for the sake of doing it. It's about teaching, it's about nurturing and educating your customers until they're ready to buy. And also that distinction you made, or saying that when you sell a service, it's about setting a desired future state. It's more about kind of painting a picture for them, right? And I think that's really good. Now, speaking about painting a picture, I want to switch gears for a second here, Mike, and talk about you as a leader. Can you give us a glimpse into what a typical workday looks like for you, and what are the main things you focus on a day to day?
Sure. Yeah, so I wear two hats for the organization. I lead our partnerships as well as our marketing function. So all of that leads to growth if we do it right. And so my days are usually a mix. I have a daily stand up with our marketing specialist, talk about what we're working on, uh, have very much a focus on shipping marketing content daily with her. And so we're talking about what she's working on today, what I'm working on. So in the course of a given week, I might be recording episodes for our podcast, The Health Tech Edge. I might be doing some editing and production around those podcasts, handing some assets off for her to do some social promotion and development, those kind of things. I'm meeting with our partners, and in talking with our partners, they're typically technology partners, so Microsoft, Amazon, Google, those kind of companies, Snowflake, Databricks. So their technology is involved in the projects we're doing with customers. We might be doing account mapping where we're looking at which accounts we're in together and sharing intel and strategizing about how we can go be successful together. We might be updating them on success of a project as the project is being delivered. I'm looking for more deals to do together. We might be talking about co-marketing opportunities. So spoke with a partner the other day about putting one of their executives on our podcast as a way to talk about how we work together and collaborate. So it's a mixture of things, which makes it fun for me. I like to have some variety in the day and in the week, but it really is focused on how we partner with different organizations on the technology side of things and look for ways to help solve customers' problems, and then how we do marketing execution and creating content, sharing content, and really trying to switch up doing different media formats, trying to be relevant in this attention economy that we all compete in.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a full day, and it does sound like it varies quite a bit. And I'm sure it keeps you stimulated in a way, right? To be motivated to wake up every morning and go do what you do. Because sometimes if you get into a rut or you do always the same things, it's not typical for marketers anyway. But if you do, then it's easy to just get a bit of a slump, if that makes sense, right? Um, Mike, we're getting towards the back half of our podcast here, so I would love us to jump into our rapid fire segment of the podcast, which does what it says on the tin. It's essentially a few questions. We just blurt them out and see what you come up with as in a quick and concise response. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. So, you mentioned content. So, when it comes to content, do you prefer watching, reading, or listening?
I think I prefer to watch content. I've got a couple of
Okay.
podcasts in my feed, but I do watch a lot of videos and especially short form videos these days.
Okay. Interesting. Now, if you were to pick the latest piece of content that you watched, right? It could be a short, it could be a YouTube video or a documentary, whatever comes to mind. What would you pick and why?
Well, the reality of what I've been watching this week is Microsoft is one of our key partners, and they're having their conference Ignite in San Francisco this week. I'm not there in person, so I'm watching highlight videos from that to try to keep up on all the latest developments and product releases, and then share that information with our team.
All right, love it. Staying up to date. That makes a lot of sense. Now, if you had a magic wand and could fix one frustrating thing in your marketing life with tech, what would you pick?
I have a feeling that there is a way to automate this today, but a lot of it is just the production around things like recording podcasts, video podcasts, especially like this. There's a number of steps that I produce, afterwards to kind of make the finished product go out on YouTube and, doing shorts and those kind of things. It's a series of steps. I could probably create something with the, N8N or one of these agentic kind of flow
Mhm.
tools, do a little vibe coding thing, but I'm not technical enough at this point to do that. But that would be something if I could wave the wand and just have it work, I would clearly do that.
Well, you certainly invited a few people to your inbox right now just by saying, a tool, NAN, and what your problem is. So hopefully you'll find something or someone that
There
can
you
help you
go.
out with it.
Yeah.
All right. What's one repetitive task that you love to put on autopilot forever?
Boy, I think it's a lot of the data cleanup in HubSpot. So we have a pretty good sized database and just keeping that current and kind of maintaining it well. We've had subscriptions to some third-party tools in the past that plug into your HubSpot data and do some maintenance, and we're using one now, but it still doesn't quite do everything that I want. I think HubSpot has an additional level up in one of the products or something that promises to do more of that, but I just can't bring myself to pay for it. But yeah, the data hygiene piece I think is, for any growth marketers, you're always just trying to keep up with the latest information on who your customers are and their activities, and having more hygiene is better than none.
Totally. I was going to say you're not the only one, so
Yeah.
you're getting company there. Now, last one, Mike. If you could go back and give your past self a quick pep talk at the start of your marketing journey, what kind of advice would you give yourself?
Boy, I think probably just keep it simple. I think, we tend to get overcomplicated a lot with things, and we try to, I think I also overthink things sometimes and, overanalyze, and just keeping it simple and just remembering that, we are very much like our customers, our potential buyers. So simplicity in message, simplicity in call to action, is probably better than trying to be too complex and just trying to really serve up simple, useful things to people and then see what they are attracted to, and kind of act on that feedback.
That's a good one. Mike, I want to thank you for being on the show with us today. And as we wrap things up, I also want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is the one thing that they should remember about your company and the work you guys are doing?
Yeah, I think that it's healthcare in the United States is such a complex system. Everyone participates in it. Everyone is a patient at some time. Everyone cares for a loved one. We're definitely focused on making it better for all. And so I think that if you get down when you're thinking about the healthcare system here in the U.S. for whatever reason, just know that there are companies like us out here who are trying to help both on the provider and the payer side make things better, make it more streamlined to ultimately deliver better care to patients and their families, better access to care for those who need it. And so we're all in this together, and trying to make it a better world for us to all live in is what we're focused on. So don't give up hope. Stay focused. Get involved. There's a role for us all to play in that.
I love the message. I love the positivity, Mike. If someone wants to check you guys out, then how could they do it?
Yeah. So certainly go to productiveedge.com and check us out, or look me up on LinkedIn, and love to connect.
And of course, your podcast, right?
Yeah, Health Tech Edge is our podcast. We drop episodes weekly with healthcare leaders talking about how they're using AI and data to better their operations and improve results for all.
Amazing. Mike, thank you again for being on the show with us today. I wish you a wonderful day.
Super. Thanks, Rick. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye, everyone.